You're live.
And welcome to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Coming to you live today from the Pemberton down there in Phoenix,
Yes,
downtown
sir.
Phoenix, 1121 North 2nd Street. In the middle of all this hotness, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yes,
Got a
sir.
great show ahead of us. 3 hours today.
Three.
So hang out with us from 10 to 1. We're going to jump into all the things we're doing. But right off the bat, this segment is brought to you by
Colt Artisan Beverage Company, the official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show. One of the first to launch nitrogen-infused coffee. They offer everything from specialty coffees to a botanical infusion line of caffeine and sugar-free brewed beverages. Call Colt Artisan Beverage Company at 623-434-0939 or visit ilovecolt.com for more information.
And if you want to get at us on the Easy Sports Talk hotline, you can call us at 602-260-1060. Aaron is behind the glass, as always, holding it down for us. If you want to tweet at us, at the Easy Sports Talk, at Ed Smith Speaks, and at Javon Love, and that's Love with the L-U-V. So right off the bat, first segment here, we're going to jump into some education about the Pemberton here. We got Brother Hans Schatz, the CEO of Colt Artisan Beverage Company, my man, my brother. We got Dakota DeSanto.
That's right.
DeSanto. Dakota's joining us, and we got Pocho. I'm gonna try this, man. Vizcarra.
Vizcarra, yes.
I couldn't say it that good, but yeah, you got to get that roll. But so yeah. So first off, thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, we're down here at the Pemberton. Great spot to be. It's Super Bowl Sunday or Super Bowl Saturday, I should say. The city is live. We got so much stuff going on down here, and like I said, we are in the heart of it. First off, Brother Hans, thank you and you and Dakota for setting this up. Tell us all about the relationship with Dakota, how this all got started, and we'll talk to Pocho about this great establishment we got here.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So it's
Yeah.
you and J-Love. So let me get that out there right now. And now you got Mark back here making us all look amazing. Dakota works with our marketing agency to make Colt come alive to the community through social media and all the different things she does there. And I believe Dakota works with this organization,
Yep.
which is, I am not even going to attempt to explain it because it's like this multi-dimensional, ever-changing community of artisans and food and beverages and entertainers. And we're just excited to be here. And you're right, it's pre-Sunday.
Pre-Saturday,
It's Saturday, it's pre-Sunday, and there's a lot going on, and Colt just happy to be a part of it.
So Dakota, tell us about your relationship with the Pemberton and introduce Pocho as well.
All right. So, first of all, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Ed. So the Pemberton, I do the marketing for the Pemberton.
Okay.
And so lucky to be a part of this awesome organization. It's a collective of a bunch of small businesses. They're all local, and there's food, beverage, retail, and art. It's a
Hardworking
people.
days, nights, holidays, weekends.
And I know Pocho because he is the general manager here.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Tell us
Wow,
about the
sounds good
setup
for
here,
myself.
Pocho.
So we have a variety of food trucks. Cocktail bars, so everybody can get their own little flavor. We have dumplings, tacos, Sonoran hot dogs. You name it, we probably have it. We have a bunch of retail stores. We have a sex shop, 18 and up. Nobody go in there if you're not 18. There's flowers in the back. We have a crystal shop. It's just there's always something new here, so we don't have anything that we have everything that stays here, but we also bring in other people,
Pop-ups.
so pop-ups, things like that.
What about the concept? How was it kind of developed?
So this is a historic house. It's a landmark in Arizona, and then it had an acre lot. The owner just decided, okay, well, let's just make it a business, right? So he set up a bunch of food trucks all over the place, and then said, let's make it happen. There's a lot of art installations as well. So if you have Instagram, there's a lot of Instagram-worthy photos
Oh yeah.
that you can take in here. We have a tunnel built of pallets. I don't know how
Tunnel?
they did that. Yeah,
Wow.
it lights up.
I saw that
Yeah.
back there, yeah.
It's just built of pallets. There's a big statue here. I don't know. It's of a kind of a mannequin, but it lights up. It does like a kaleidoscope type of colors.
I guess the word it's eclectic. The whole
It's
Yeah.
an art
environment,
collective,
art
art
collective, yeah.
collective.
So tell us a little bit about the relationship you have with, but everything going on with Colt right now.
Well, we have plenty, and just to echo what Pocho said, I think this is great, and there's a ton of diversity, And when you once you get in here, you're kind of in a little
Hmm.
community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you got there's walls everywhere, and there's bathrooms, and there's just a little bit of everything. But uh, like we always tell you at Colts Blast, man, we're our business is growing. You can now find us in retail in Albertson, Safeway, Walmart, Fry's, Sprouts. We launched our new bottles. They're nationwide now. They're also in Fry's. We got coffee everywhere. We have great new clients that we're doing work with. Some real fun announcements we can make here in the next 30, 45 days. And we're just happy to be supporting you guys to get out and tell the message, to share your message, amazing message, then introduce, get Dakota out in front of the camera instead of behind it, but introduce Pocho and people like that are bringing some real energy to our community, our
Well,
foodie community.
two things. I want you to talk a little bit about more what you do here,
Mhm.
Dakota, and then Pocha. We got to talk about what you do as far as sparring too.
Uh,
So,
Mm-hmm. I
so
feel safe.
what are some of the things you do for the Pemberton?
Well, there's so much to do, which is so fun. There's so many different businesses, so I get to highlight them on social media, and I'm really tasked with just marketing in general. So I'm just trying to get people in the door, and um, it's a really cool business that sometimes people just don't know about it.
And let's talk about the location as well.
Hmm.
We're right here at what are the cross streets again?
this is Second Street and Moreland.
Second Street in Moreland.
Yes.
And for anybody who's coming down, there's a big event, the Frito Lay event right there.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, how's that been going all week?
Oh
Been
yeah.
Very
pretty.
busy. Lee Bryce played last night. It was a free entry, so a lot of people came out. Yeah,
Hmm.
they have big acts for free. You
Yeah,
just walk
Jimmy Eat
in.
World, Gin
Jimmy Eat World
Blossoms.
on Thursday.
And then let's talk about you spar. When
Yes.
we met you a few weeks ago to
I
look
was
at
all beat up.
you were beat up. Hans thought somebody had hit you in the back in the alley or something. I was like, no, he does some sparring. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So on my off time, which I have very little of, I like to train Muay Thai. So I've been training for a while, and sometimes Ryan Bader, former UFC star, Bellator heavyweight champ at the time, he has me come down and give him some striking. So like we spar, he beats me up. I'm basically
We're
a moving.
friends, right? We're
Yes.
friends. Okay, let's get that out there.
So I'm a moving punching bag that punches back.
So, and that's interesting because as a sparring partner, your job is to take the blows and
Yeah,
not
to give.
necessarily give them
Yeah.
back because you don't want to hurt the guy that you're
No.
sparring with.
Yeah.
How difficult is that for somebody to hit you and be able to hit a
It's.
little back but not
I'm
unleash?
able to hit back, but my style I had to change it up this one because the guy that he was fighting, Fedor,
Okay.
he was fighting. It was Fedor's last fight, and I had to kind of sit back like Fedor does, and I'm not used to that. Like I like to walk in, and I was kind of getting
So you
hit a lot.
imitate, you try to imitate the
Yeah.
person that he is going to be fighting so he can
Yes.
get used to that
Yeah,
style. Okay.
I'll watch his opponent's fights
Okay.
beforehand, and then I'll try to imitate that style.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So with about a minute and a half left, tell us how everybody can continue to follow everything that's going on here at the Pemberton and some of the businesses, and then we'll continue to do out throughout the show. But how can everybody follow here at the Pemberton?
Okay, well, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok at Pemberton PHX. And of course, you can always follow my business, which is called the Social Media Manager. It's a social media agency that I own. And yeah, so with Pemberton, we're open Wednesday through Sunday, and we'd love to have you in here. You should check it out, have some fun.
And we're going to have some of the businesses come on to tell us, what they do is individually as well.
And bring some of their food.
Bring some of their food. Yeah.
Don't forget that part.
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't-
going to bring some food.
Yeah, we didn't eat this
1 minute.
morning on purpose, so I'm hoping to get so first, thank you guys for having us out, and like so, we'll continue to get the news out about the Pemberton here. But we are looking forward to a great show. When we come back, we're going to start talking a little bit about some news that's happening here in Phoenix with some of our teams. But we got 3 hours ahead of you, folks. So we'll be here till 1. Normally from 10 to noon, we're going to be here till 1 o'clock. So
Don't
make
go
sure you
away.
hang out with us. In the meantime, thank you, Brother Hans. Thank you, Pocho. Thank you, Dakota,
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
So we're going to take this break. You're listening to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Easy and Jay going to be jumping on in a second. Aaron behind the glass, we got Brother Mark Twain Beaver from True Narrative Media here with us. We got our intern Elian hanging out, my son Quentin. They're going to jump on later on. We got some great news coming up with those two as well. So we're going to take this break. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend, your Super Bowl weekend, that is. Be back after these messages. I'm not going to do it. I'll let Jay get along in a second. I can't do your thing.
Good job, guys.
Clear.
Thanks, Aaron. Thank you guys so much.
Here, I'm bringing the best
Let me
sports
turn
talk
this
weekdays
off.
to you, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Family owned and operated since 1946, Milano Music is Arizona's oldest and largest premier destination music store. Located at 38 West Main Street in historic downtown Mesa, Milano's has a 50,000 square foot showroom that features a giant wall of guitars. There are hundreds to choose from.
Hey, Aaron, my mic is it coming in? Are any of our mics coming in hot on your side or? No, no. Mark just said it seemed like it was loud on through his system, but yeah, I have everything at the same. I haven't touched anything, so we're all good. If we're good on your end, then we'll just keep it as it is. And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend, folks.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back to the mic, Jay.
All on the mic, fool.
Hey, this segment right here is brought to you by
Milano Music, family owned and operated since 1946. Milano Music is Arizona's oldest and largest premier destination music store. The 50,000 square foot showroom features a must-see giant wall of guitars. There are hundreds to choose from as they carry the most popular brands in stock. A complete music store, you will find everything you need from digital pianos, drums, recording gear to orchestral products. For hours of operation and additional information, call Milano Music at 480-827-1111. Again, that's 480-827-1111. Or visit milanomusic.com. That's MILANO music.com.
So it's starting to get busy downtown
Yeah,
here, man.
man.
We were right next to big Frito-Lay exhibit. I guess we get the official name of it, but we're at the Pemberton, 1121 North 2nd Street, and I've been down here all week, man, with some different things. Hush your mouth, man. I'm not name dropping.
You are name dropping, fool.
Been down here all week. So
Nah,
it's been
you know how
busy.
you are name dropping because you said to me when we were talking, you said, yeah, so the first day I was down here on
Well,
Radio
here's the
Row.
thing. I said
and then
to
the second
you-
day I was down here on Radio Row. I feel you,
No,
man.
here's the cool thing. I got on Thursday. I was down, did Radio Row.
Yeah.
And my first interview was about, I think it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm at a table. I look up and I'm sitting next to a table with Emmett Smith, Earl Campbell,
Yep.
and Tony Dorsett,
Yes,
all
sir.
on the mic next to me. I turned into fanboy, man. I had to get up with my camera and almost missed my interview. I'm sitting there taking pictures and everything. They had to call me back to my table. But,
Yeah.
those are the type of legends that were there, and it was like just so cool to see. So, just a lot of, that's the great thing about, you said it right there, that's the great thing about being Super Bowl city is we just have so much stuff going on, and, and everybody's taking advantage of it. We got a lot of people in town
Yeah.
hanging out, and I think even last week I talked about the number of people, over 100,000 people coming in,
Yeah.
not just for the game, but all the festivities and everything.
Yes, sir.
So in the meantime,
That's got to be a low estimate, right?
well, I'm just going off the numbers I saw the last time,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's all
I
good.
mean, it could be a lot more than that. We never know. But the cool thing is we're going, we're getting ready for a big football week, right?
Yeah.
And we thought all other sports would be on the background kind of.
Yeah.
And boom, shakalaka. Out of nowhere, the Suns early this week, the trade deadline was on Thursday.
Yeah.
They go and pull off a blockbuster. First off, let's talk about this because it all's triggered by one Kyrie Irving.
One of the most consistent and reliable players in NBA history, Kyrie
This dude,
Irving.
yeah, this dude can't be happy anywhere. Out of nowhere, he wants out of Brooklyn at the start of the week, and they end up getting rid of him as he sent him to the Mavericks. And you know
Yes.
where he wanted to go. He wanted, I know how this all started because your boy LeBron, they played them last week.
Yeah.
He got in his ear, and the next thing you know, Kyrie wants to be traded. And
Is that
you know-
like back in the day when you would go to your friend's house and then your friend would say, "Hey, ask your mom if you can stay."
Oh yeah,
Ask your mom if you
yeah.
can stay, and then you walk in there. Hey, mama, can I stay? No, you can't stay over that boy's house.
But so all of a sudden Kyrie wants to be traded, and the trade deadline is Thursday, so they hurry up and shuffle him out of town,
Yeah.
not to L.A. where he wanted to go, but to Dallas.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, your boy KD is sitting there. And at first, I thought with only 3 days to go before the deadline, there's no way they can get rid of KD.
Yeah.
And they were talking about all the destinations, possibly the Celtics and different things. But I'm thinking to myself, there's no way Brooklyn is going to send him
To the
in the
Celtics.
conference to the Celtics, right?
Nah.
So I thought it was pretty much squashed. No way they're going to get rid of KD. He'll probably finish this year out, and then over the offseason, talk about how he wants to be traded. That'd be the new topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, we wake up, was it Thursday morning?
Yeah,
So,
it
and
happened
boom,
late in the night. Late in the
the
night.
Suns pull off the deal to get. And here's the thing: I wonder, how'd you like to be the dude sent with KD? Because we got Kevin Durant and we got T.J. Warren along with him in the deal. I don't even know who T.J. Warren is.
Man, you suck, man. Come on, man. Put a little bit
I'm
of
just
respect on the
saying.
man's name.
Hey, no, I'm just saying. So we got T.J. Warren and KD, right?
Yeah.
In return, though, we had to send away, and we're going to talk about. We're going to have Joanna join us next segment, but I want to find out if we gave away too much in this trade. But so we send Mikal Bridges, and Cam Johnson. That's the one that hurt me. Sent Cam Johnson.
Mikal Bridges is the one that hurt everybody else.
Nah,
in the
Cam
Valley,
Johnson.
in Suns fans, that's the one
Because
that
I
hurt
don't know
everybody
basketball. That's why.
Man.
Cam Johnson. Where'd he come from? The University of North Carolina. So we got rid of. So we sent Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder in the deal as well, and then 4 unprotected first-round picks.
Right.
2023, 25, 27, and 29. So all of those are gone. We get Durant, and we'll talk about did we give away too much. The good thing is Durant is under contract for 3 more years.
3 more years.
So with that being said,
does that really mean a lot though? Because when you think about how he was under contract, he's still under contract.
He's still under
and they
contract,
traded
yeah.
him. And players can push their way out of situations. But I want to get to like one of the questions that you asked. My son Elijah, who was here on site with us. I remember it was me and Kendrick and Elijah. We were having a discussion about championships and all these things, and I was upset about the fact that we gave up so much when we got AD.
Uh-huh.
And they said, "But you got a championship, Dad.
Yeah.
You got a championship." So as much as they had to give up in terms of their young core that they gave up, if they win a championship, then and it doesn't fall off the cliff precipitously after that happens, then I think it'll all be worth it.
How long do you think it takes for him to gel? Because you gotta remember we got Booker, we have CP3, Ayton, and now you throw KD into the mix.
Yeah.
Are there enough basketballs to go around in this dynamic here?
Yeah, because I think Chris Paul doesn't need to take shots like that.
No.
The person who's not going to get as many shots,
DeAndre?
Ayton.
Yeah. So he's gone from iffy 2-3. Now he's number 4 on the totem pole.
And he's going to be the best number 4 in the league. Watch. Because he could, but no. So what I'm saying is just that the different level of expectation that comes around.
Yeah.
Right? So if they say all we need you to do is this, and that way when he's getting those double doubles that he seems to get all the time, and we're just still looking and saying that your ceiling is so much higher. The ceiling of a number 4 is a lot lower than the ceiling of
everybody's
than
numbers are going to obviously dip because they have to, because KD's got to come in here.
Yeah.
He's going to get his 20 to 25, you would think, right?
Booker.
Where do those come from? Well,
Booker and Kevin Durant should definitely they should be 1-2 every night. But see, that's the thing when it's like you're playing a video game. When you make this trade on a video game and all of a sudden you're saying I'm marching to the championship. In real life, things happen. People get upset because ask Anthony Davis how that goes. If you don't get the ball enough and then you sulk on the bench, different things happen. But if things run smoothly, Booker and Durant, Booker should really excel, and I think Booker will be. I get on him about being a number 2 instead of a number 1. He should be a number 1 because Kevin Durant doesn't want to be the number 1 in terms of leadership, dude.
Yeah.
He just wants to go out and get buckets and ball out, and that's what he does. And so
do you think the clock is now ticking on Ayton being here, though? Because I've heard all kind of rumors about, and obviously the trade deadline is coming past, so we couldn't do anything now. But does the clock now start to tick on him? There are a lot of teams that are interested in him, and I'm not sure.
Possible.
Because here's the thing: now you're bringing KD into the fold.
Yeah.
He's going to be a focus along with Booker. The shadow is now going to be so big on Ayton, meaning he's going to be overshadowed. We weren't even getting him the ball before KD got here. What does it now become? This is going to be a. I mean,
He should be automatic double double though.
you think?
He should be a walking double double. Get your rebounds, not like the other night where he got 2 rebounds. He needs to. This if he. Sometimes you don't realize what you had until it's gone, right?
Yeah.
So if he takes this and tries to learn as much from these 3 players, the other 3 players that are starting in terms of with Chris Paul, with Devin Booker, and with Kevin Durant, he should grow from this, but I just don't know if that's the way that he'll look at it is as an opportunity. It might be I'm getting fewer opportunities, so therefore I want to leave. But I think it's possible that they trade him in the offseason, but I hope that they see what this team can do because their defense is going to be a question mark. But
Always, yeah.
yeah, but I'm talking about because they gave away they gave
The
away
Mikal,
Bridges
yeah.
and Johnson, so defense is definitely going to be.
What do you think about giving away 4 first-round picks, though? I mean, that seems like a big haul when you're not 4 first-round picks and the quality that we gave away. I know you're getting Durant in return, but Mikal Bridges, Cam, and then Jay Crowder is like, and then the 4 first-round picks. It's almost like we just piled. I know it was going to. I knew it was going to take a lot for anybody to
If
get
you're the
KD.
Suns, do you think that you're going to be performing well for the next 3, 4, 5 years?
I do.
So those picks will be late picks, late first round picks. I think there's value in them, but it's that future. It's the future value of money, right?
Yeah.
There's the present value of money is greater than the future value of money because we don't know what we can do more with it now than we can later. So. Yeah, the first that can catch up with you. Ask the Lakers how they're trying to get picks back and doing all these different stuff. But the thing is that if you expect that you will be a really going deep into the playoffs for years to come, then the value of those first round draft picks diminish a bit.
Yeah.
That's the theory. That's the thought process behind it.
You look at, and I know it's a different sport. You look at what the Rams sacrificed for that one title.
Yeah.
And now what happens is you're paying for it. And I know NBA picks are different than NFL picks because of the number of them, and then the quantity of a roster. filling a roster of 53 compared to a roster of 15. But it just seems like the future is now here, and because if we're looking out a few years from now, every year there's going to, unless we do something to pull some of those picks back in.
I wonder if Matt Ishbia walked in playing.
That's
playing. What is it? Lean on Me. Joe Clark.
Yeah.
So I'm in charge.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Next segment we'll have to bring his name up a little bit because with new ownership, there's a new philosophy, and he's almost came in like a gunslinger. So
Came
hey,
like
we're
a
gonna take
wrecking
this.
ball.
We're
In a
gonna take
good
this
way.
break. Great show ahead. We got some special guests and people joining us. Already off to a great start. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. As a matter of fact, Easy and Jay, Mark here hanging out, Aaron behind the glass. We got all kind of people here on spot with us. Hope you're having a great weekend. Easy and Jay, Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS 1060 AM. Be back after these messages, folks.
Are you okay?
Hit 'em with it, Jay.
Yeah, man.
And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. See, the problem with doing a show from a place like this, Jay, is there's too many aromas in the air right now. my senses are confused. I'm smelling all this goodness, and it's just throwing me off a little bit, man.
That's why I stay at home because I walk around. I'm too much goodness walking around these streets, man. That's
This
why I be
segment
at
right
home.
here is brought to you by
Majestic Services. Contact Majestic Services to do all the dirty work around your home or business. Majestic Services will pressure wash your driveways, awnings, pool decks, sidewalks, and more. Call Majestic Services at 602-614-9401 or go to majesticservices.net for your free, no obligation quote today.
See anybody watching us right now? Because we're on the air, 1060 AM. We also have Mark with True Narrative Media who's blasting us out there.
EasySportsTalk.com. Check it on out.
EasySportsTalk.com. There
Yes,
you
sir.
go. I'm trying to get my little ice cream in during the break. Avoid the brain freeze and all that kind of stuff. But so let's stay on topic right here. We have Joanna Rosalie joining us, one of my favorite people. We'll find out what you've been doing recently, but I also want to talk to you about these Suns. What are your thoughts on? Is this a move that now makes the Suns the favorite in the West? Right, because right now they're currently sitting fifth, 31-27. They had a victory last night against the Pacers on the road. It was funny. Last week they were at 500 because they've been kind of floating around that, and I was like, wow, this late in the season with only 20 some odd games left, they are what we thought they are. They're a 500 team, but that now becomes moot. Yeah,
Moot, yes.
because they are fifth in the West, 8 games back, but there's such a jumble. And when you bring a Kevin Durant in, it almost makes it like, who cares where you're seated now? You might be considered the best in the West. How do you, after this move, what do you think as far as them, climbing up the ladder?
I definitely think that they are a contender. With definitely having Devin Booker once he comes back, it'll definitely get them some wins. And as far as having Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson out, I think that is going to be a big miss for them, especially with Mikal. And where I think the Suns' challenge lies in is in the bench. We've seen them, how that's affected them, not only this season, but last season and even in the finals. Yes, I think that they are a finals contender and they can get there. But if they're wanting to go ahead and bring that championship home and get that, once they get to the finals and bring that trophy home, they definitely have to adjust their bench. They can solely rely on Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, because you have those injuries, or DeAndre Ayton, which was mentioned too, which I have my thoughts on as well.
I'm glad you brought that up because that is, and I'll ask you this, Jay. You know about
You about to
injury.
say some more hating stuff?
No,
You
I'm
gonna
just
hate
saying,
some
if
more?
anybody knows about injured players over there in L.A. with, all day street clothes, Mr. Street Clothes, Anthony
Yeah,
Davis.
man, yeah.
You're now bringing in Durant, who seems like he's the older he gets, because he's what, 34, 35, 33, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
He's constantly injured. Then you're talking about CP3, who's always a tweak away, and CP3 is 37 plus or whatever it is. And then we cannot seem to keep Devin Booker from that injury bug as well. So how do you, I guess, get these guys, I guess, playing together, but I guess we'll have to walk around with our fingers crossed at all times because all three of them could go down at any moment.
I say that you bring up valid points, because if we look at why is KD not playing right now, it's because he's injured, right? So that is a risk, and when you have that many players that I wouldn't call Booker injury prone, but if he gets injured again this season, I would say he's now injury prone. I think that he's on the cusp of that. So as a result, you are always, it is a fine line that you walk. It was you can think of teams that have had that happen not only in the NBA but also in the NFL, where injuries beset them, and sometimes you have players that are a little bit more susceptible to it than others. Chris Paul is a far, far, far much better version of AD, because at some point in time both of them are going down in the season. You just don't know when, and you just hope it's not at the most inopportune time. And unfortunately, that seems to happen more often than not with Chris Paul during some point in the season. Maybe the fact that he's been playing a lot less, and I think that they're trying to manage that as best possible. But I'm curious to hear about what you think that this trade will mean, not only when it comes to maybe the tenuous line that they walk, but what this could mean for Aiton as well.
Yes, I think with this trade, they'll be able to, or at least what I would like to see, have more of that playing time distributed between Chris Paul, KD, DeAndre Ayton. And with DeAndre Ayton, just to touch on that, and with the trades and what you had mentioned in the previous segment, is if DeAndre Ayton does not step up his game and perform, like be that consistent player that the Phoenix Suns need, I think he's out of here.
You think so?
Or the Suns have to make some type of adjustment where they have him on the bench more than on a starting role.
Ooh, that would be, yeah. You just gave him all that money. I don't know if you can put him on the bench.
Oh, you could.
They got him at a discount, obviously, because they didn't give him a max deal last year. They matched what the Pacers threw out there. So, but I mean, at that point, I don't know if you could. I don't think he's a bench dude. I think at some point, because that would be a whole lot of disgruntled sitting on your bench.
Yeah.
So I think at some point you'd have to move him.
Something's got to give for sure.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that could be that could be a little dicey there.
But I want to go back to the point you mentioned about the bench, though. I think that is so important, because I think people lose sight of that when you have teams that are so top heavy, because of either that's the way because the way the team is constructed when we look at how the salary cap works, and so you end up having to. That's what the Heat had to do quite a bit, was they had to piece together their bench with those those veteran minimum players that were willing to come and play with LeBron and Wade and Bosh to be able to try to give themselves an opportunity to get those championships. And that may be what the Suns end up having to do, as long as those players believe in the culture. Because if you don't believe if you think it's a bad environment when you walk in the building, then I might as well go. I'll get $500,000 extra to go somewhere where we might not make the playoffs, but it might be a much better environment for me to walk into. And I think I heard about maybe Reggie Jackson, because he got traded in a possible buyout situation for him. So this is where playing GM, in my opinion, will become even more important. And do you agree with that in situations like this where you have such a top-heavy team?
Yes, I definitely I like what you had mentioned with regards to the culture, with having the new ownership and seeing how just in a matter of not even 24 hours, the change that the team saw.
Yeah.
You can see that Ishbia is definitely dedicated to have this team, be a title holder for the Phoenix Suns, and that not only comes from from the top, comes from the top down.
Yes.
It definitely affects your players, and having with KD, CP3, Devin Booker, and the sort being, your top guys, it's gonna has to translate to your bench. And I think, if you're able to go ahead and translate that to the bench and have them be to the performance of what is needed to go ahead and get those W's and get you not only to the playoffs but get you to the finals, is what the team needs the most right now.
So now we're looking at a situation where we're sitting in the 5-hole. 8 back of, and I'm going to throw some names out here of teams that we're not accustomed to hearing at the top of this conference.
Okay.
With Denver, the Nuggets. I'll ask you real quick, are you a believer in the Nuggets, either one of you? As right now, number 1 seed.
Yeah, because it's so open in the West.
Yeah.
All right, Memphis sitting at second, 3.5 back.
I think Memphis could.
They're a threat.
Memphis could implode. I think Memphis is one of those teams with so much potential that they, depending on how things go in a series, they could implode. We've seen that a couple times this year.
They
games.
seem like they're young and they're ahead of schedule almost, and you kind of think you don't get that feel like they're established. It's almost like they're there, but I'm not quite a believer in them yet. Sacramento hadn't made the playoffs in the last 50 years. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but obviously that's a team that the Suns would consider them being a favorite over them right now. Dallas Mavericks seem to always give us a little bit of trouble in the 4-hole. And then you start looking at teams like the Clippers, Warriors at 7, Pelicans at 8. And then you're getting into Minnesota and Utah.
You see where the Pelicans are without Zion. It's funny how he was doing so great, and now he's been out. I mean, that's a dude that.
How did he even make the All-Star team? Well, I mean,
because fan
I guess
voting.
so. Okay.
But I know we have just a minute left, but one of the things you mentioned, Ishbia, right? You mentioned in terms of came from the top down, with okay, I gave you that money. Now I want these results. So you wonder what type of owner he will be. Will it be, look, he comes in with these, he sets the bar so high that it's almost impossible to reach it, or will that push help change that culture in a positive way and make the new standard championship or bust?
Before we get out of here, is this championship or bust season? Do they must win the
conference finals or bust?
Conference finals or bust?
Yeah.
No championship.
I think they get to the conference. I'll be surprised if they do get to the finals.
You guys both have low expectations.
I would love to see that, but with what they have right now, I'm just trying to be realistic.
Right. We're going to continue to track them, but thank you for jumping on
of course,
with Joanna.
Hey,
how can they follow you real quick?
They can follow me on Twitter at JRosalie. That's JRoSalye, and on Facebook it's Joanna Rosalie.
Thank you, Joanna. We're going to take this break. When we come back, I think we're going to be sampling and having some people join us here. So Easy and Jay, Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS 1060 AM, KSLX, HD Channel 200.7. Be back after these messages, folks. Hit them, Jay.
Are you okay?
Thank you so much, Joanna. And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you are having a great start to your Super Bowl Saturday. I can't believe the game has snuck up on us. It's like
already here.
It's here, man. Tomorrow's a big day. And
are you sad, man?
I am kind of, because it's the end of another season. What am I going to do with my Sundays and my Thursdays
Watch
and my Mondays?
basketball.
Come to the Pemberton.
I guess so.
Yes,
For my target. There you go.
There you go.
Hey, this segment right here is brought to you by
Casual Sports Radio Network, KSRN, is your destination for the latest updates and in-depth coverage of your Arizona sports teams, including all things Arizona Cardinals for the Bird Gang fan base. Visit casualsports.com. That's KAZUALSPORTZ.com for feature articles, great podcasts, such as the repurposing of the Easy Sports Talk Show, Believe in the Arizona Cardinals, and also Microphone Masters and more.
So we're coming to you live from the Pemberton down here in Phoenix, and we got a couple of the great vendors joining us, and we're doing a break. I was talking to Mr. Mike Cosentino.
Yeah, that's
Close?
it. You did it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
And I always try to, try to spell him out in my head and get him.
I'm impressed.
And first try, too.
And he's the owner of the Hot Box beer truck here. And we have Aaron Mooney, who is the owner of Buckaroo Flower Company. First, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
And, first off, great, you guys. I love this, how this is all set up here. But during the break, we were talking, we're going to get into some sports after we talk about the businesses. I was like, it's cool because first thing Mike did, when we sat down, he's like, we want to talk about the Suns. I was like, okay, we got a sports man here. So first off, thank you for joining us. Tell us about your business. Let's go Aaron first. Tell us about the Buckaroo.
Yeah, so Buckaroo Flower Co. is a full-service floral shop located here at the Pemberton. In addition to you being able to shop flowers and houseplants in the space when you come through to the Pemberton, we also do daily deliveries, we offer subscriptions, and we do wedding and event work as well. So if anyone is still looking for a Valentine's gift, we are still accepting orders up until tomorrow. Reminder to everyone out there, Valentine's Day is Tuesday.
Yes,
Don't
indeed.
be stressed out at the last minute.
The Super Bowl has kind of distracted us a little bit, so I thank you for that reminder. And then Mike, tell us about your business.
It's called the Hot Box. That's HOPBOX, like beer hot box. And it's an old beer trailer that we bought from the Arizona State Fair, and it's over there in the back corner of the Pemberton here. And we sell we have 12 taps, all craft beer, and liquor. We do shots and just nice whiskeys, tequila, gin, all the good stuff.
You have some
and then
good
lots of
mezcal.
good beers. We got mezcal, true. Yeah, that's very true. So come see us.
So you had me at Hotbox, but real quick. So I know that you're an MC. You were in the group Junk and Immortals.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right. That's
I was in, if you remember back in the day, Kinetic, Kinetic. So I was the lead MC in Kinetic, and so Tig was the DJ in the band. Yeah, so we were on a few different bills. And so
sure.
I would always be, whenever we were on a bill with you guys. Yeah. Yeah, it's about to be on.
Good time.
It's
Yeah,
about
that's
to be
cool.
on.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
man.
what's up, man. That's what's
That's
up.
great. Yeah, Tig, tell Tig I said hi if you see him.
I
love
would
that guy.
definitely
Never
do
know
that.
who you're going to bump into
Yeah, I
down
guess
here.
so.
Yeah, indeed. So Aaron, I want a question about you.
Yeah.
So with Valentine's Day coming, how can people order online and be able to
Yes.
how can people do that?
So they can find my website at buckaroophx.com. And it's a pretty simple system to order. You'll select shop all. You can scroll down and you'll see Valentine's right there. There's a few sizes, medium and large. And then you'll be prompted on the order form to fill out your information and who you're sending it to, as well as your card message.
And how long have you both been here, and how did you find your way to the Pemberton?
I've been open here since September. I found the Pemberton randomly through some of the other businesses that were here. I used to do some pop-ups over at Goods, this really awesome vintage trailer right here. And then when I heard that there was an opening, I jumped on it because I absolutely love all of the other vendors here and the amazing community we have at the Pemberton.
How about you, Mike?
We got on pretty early. We've been here almost 2 years now. And how did we find it? I think they reached out to us because we've been doing businesses around here for a long time. Got a couple different bars and a beer and wine store over there and a coffee shop around. And so they were looking for concepts to come in here. And somebody directed them toward us to do, because we did another one here called Baby Boy, which they do cocktails, like fancy mezcal cocktails that are delicious. So we're kind of back to back with those guys. And so they kind of called us, and we had this concept going already for the beer truck thing. So it just seemed like it was going to fit.
You ever see a movie?
It sure does.
You see those movies where like somebody's like starstruck when they're looking at somebody, and you see them like gazing the whole time. Jay, while you're talking, Jay is over there. Just
I'm actively
gazing
listening,
at you.
fool.
No, I mean,
It's called active listening.
No, I'm just saying because I mean, obviously you had him at Hotbox, but I mean, you're talking. He's just sitting there. He's
raps.
If we were in a movie, you know, you see the little hearts and everything over
If
there.
you want to switch,
He just
do you want to switch switch seats so you can be closer to Mike.
He said, right now, Jay just wants to give you a hug, man.
man. So I got.
We're gonna hug.
So I do have to ask this though, when it comes to in terms of inventory from a macro level with both of your businesses, like say how do you decide which beers to keep on tap or which beers to have available, and then when if there are trends in terms of in the floral space that you have to stay on top of. So we'll start with you.
That's a great question.
Mike.
I like that. For me, it's experience. You know, I've been in beer for 25 years now, and just knowing basically it's what's good. You know, I don't really depend on so much on, but you got to go by trends because sales of like hazy IPAs are the biggest thing ever,
Right.
and then sours, people are drinking sours. So I like to find the good ones of those because just like anything else, it's like hip hop. There's good ones and there's ones that aren't so good. You know what I mean? So you get quality. But the way I find them just through experience and also like customers. The best thing is the customers. They tell you, they're like, here's what's good, and I try it. You know, because the reps come and they give you stuff, but you know, I know. You know what I mean?
Right, gotcha. Aaron?
When it comes to floral, trends do play a little bit into what inventory I keep. However, too, I just try to keep stuff that I like. I've been doing floral design for 17 years now, and I tend to like the more funky, different, weird stuff. I think it's important that if you are coming to a florist, that you can find things that you're not going to find if you just pop into Trader Joe's or you just pop into a Fry's or something. You want to have that unique experience of finding stuff that you wouldn't normally see. And then seasonality plays into it as well.
And how early in your life did you get into flowers?
Oh, shortly after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you knew that was something that direction that you wanted to go.
Yeah, I fell in love with it pretty much instantly. I was always a very creative person, and I loved nature, so being able to create with natural product just clicked with me really well. So yeah, I'd say at my first floral job, I was like, I'm going to own my own floral business one day.
Okay. And you, Mike, how early did you realize that, hops were in your future?
Well, I don't think I think it's always been there.
Okay. Do what you love, and you never work a day in your life, right?
Like in '99, I worked at a homebrew supply store. We sold supplies to brew your own beer, and I learned so much about beer there, and I realized what it really is. Because before that I was drinking, Mickey's and garbage, whatever. And then I realized what beer could be, and then that's from then on. I've always been in beer. Yeah.
So let me ask this, because I know you mentioned that you wanted to talk a little bit Suns. So how do you feel about the trade?
I mean, I feel great about it. I'm a little, I love Mikal Bridges. Both the twins, I like Mikal Bridges and Cammy J. I can't believe that they're not Suns anymore. That hurts. But KD, I mean, he's like one of the best ever. I mean, I don't know.
How do you grade this?
Feel like
after that trade, is it? Yeah, you're right. You have to you have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So is this championship or bust for you?
I think that's what this move is. That's what I think this is. I think it's just like they want to do it this year. You know what I mean? They want to see if they can get Katie in right now. Then we'll do it this year or next year. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're trying to do it right now.
2 minutes too.
So tell everybody how they can continue. How they can follow you guys, all your social media and everything.
So on Instagram, you can find us at Buckaroo PHX_, and the links to our website and everything else are right there in our bio. And you can see some of the beautiful product I have, as well as watch me be an entire goofball on the internet.
Yeah, mine is ours is Hop HOPBOX PHX Hopbox Phoenix on Instagram, and we got all kinds of silly posts on there too. You should look; they're pretty funny.
Cool.
Come
and
see us.
we're going to check you guys out. We definitely appreciate you guys coming over and hanging out with us. And I know he'd love a hot box himself.
Yeah,
right
come
now.
see what's up.
You ain't said nothing but a word, man.
So, hey,
we have the breakfast stout on over there. It's perfect for the morning.
1 hour down already. But the good part is we're just getting ready to start with a fresh 2 after this one. So we got 2 more hours to go. Appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
And we're looking forward to getting some more people to come out and hang. But so far, great show, man. We appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, you got Easy and Jay here. I can't run down the list. We got Mark behind the camera, Brother Hans here, Dakota, Deborah dropped out with us, my son Quentin. We got Elian, Eliza. I mean, we got everybody here. Aaron behind the glass. We're getting it in.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you hanging out on your Super Bowl Saturday with us. Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show. KDUS 1060 AM, KSLX HD channel 200.7. Go check us out at EasySportsTalk.com.
EasySportsTalk.com. You can watch us live as well.
We'll be back after these these messages, folks. 1 hour down, 2 to go.
Are you kidding?
And welcome back, hour 2 of the Easy Sports Talk Show. And remember, folks, we're going to be doing this for another 2 hours.
Yes, sir.
Running up to 1 o'clock today. A little extended show coming to you live today from the Pemberton, downtown Phoenix, 1121 North 2nd Street. Right now they have 2nd Street closed off because they got the big Frito-Lay event. But you can get down here, a lot of great businesses, a lot of great food. We got flowers. We got a little bit of everything here.
It's seriously, it's real cool when you walk around here. It's as you mentioned in the beginning segment, it's like a collective.
Yeah,
and
it really is.
Really
yeah.
cool, really
what
cool.
I like is there's so many different types of businesses,
Yes.
from flowers to et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll be experiencing some of that food here soon.
Indeed.
This segment right here is brought to you by
Colt Artisan Beverage Company, the official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show. One of the first to launch nitrogen-infused coffee. They offer everything from specialty coffees to a botanical infusion line of caffeine and sugar-free brewed beverages. Call Colt Artisan Beverage Company at 623-434-0939 or visit ilovecolt.com for more information.
And if you want to give us a call on the Easy Sports Talk hotline, ring us up at 602-260-1060. Aaron's behind the glass. Tweet at us at the Easy Sports Talk, at Ed Smith Speaks, and at Javon Love. That's Love with L-U-V. So little.
Go to easysportstalk.com. You can watch us there. You'll see all that good stuff there. So
well, we got some. There's this game going on tomorrow. I think some football game or something is happening here in our fair city.
Yes.
The Super Bowl 57. I was fortunate enough to play in one myself, and I know how exciting this game is, and the players, man, they got to be. This is like. I remember my experience, man. By the end of the 2 weeks, I was like, "Can we please just go ahead and get this game in?" Because I mean, at first it felt so cool to be kind of, the extra bye week and everything. But man, the coverage got to be so much.
But does it have to be? So, are you in favor of the 2 weeks, or do you think it should be one?
I mean, that's all to make money, and obviously it's good for the teams to have that extra week to prepare. But man, by the end of it, I mean, you're just chomping at the bit to get on the field. And the thing about it, the game goes so fast, too, as far as being on the field. But wanted to preview a little. And you and I, we're going to save our picks to the very end of the show.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we would like to talk a little about the game. And I guess we're going to pick the Chiefs here to talk about first in previewing the two teams. Obviously, it's the 16-3 Chiefs taking on the 16-3 Eagles. Eagles favored by 1.5 right now. First off, how do you feel about the spread? Is this a
It's
pick 'em
it's a
or-
pick 'em. It
Yeah.
really is a pick 'em because when you look at how the Eagles are so strong defensively, and I think that's probably why they're favored a little bit, because we know that the things that they can do in terms of offensively. There's definitely you can make your case for each one of them in terms of why you think that they should win for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the beginning of the season, everybody, Tyreek Hill obviously had moved on. They sent him over to the Dolphins, and the big thing was, oh, my God, they lost Tyreek. What is Mahomes and that offense going to do without him? And, man, 16-3 is nothing to bat an eye out. They had, and coincidentally, both of these teams actually faced the Cardinals this year. So we had, obviously in week
One fared much better than the other.
Yeah, in week 1, the Cardinals took on the Chiefs and got, spanked 44-21. Who would have known that was a precursor for how the season was going to go for the Cardinals?
It's not what I thought, that's for sure.
I mean, Mr. 10-7. And that bottle of adult beverage you bought me went down real good, by the way.
Whatever,
we need to do
man.
that again next year. We'll go ahead and put a little something on next year's record as well.
Yeah, we'll put a Kit Kat bar on it.
Like I said, the Chiefs, number 1 seed. This is their 3rd Super Bowl in the last, I think, 3 years.
Yeah.
They've been to 5 straight AFC Championship games, all led by Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
They're 1-1 in their first 2 Super Bowls. We'll see how they kind of get into this one. Obviously, against the Eagles, like I said, they getting a 1.5 as far as the spread. How do you see? What did you think of the Chiefs as far as their overall season?
I think when you look at the reason why Mahomes was the MVP, named just the other day, is because he had to play differently, right? When you had when you had the previous player there, that he wasn't able to go down the field as much as he would have liked, so he had to do some things differently.
Yeah,
and that's the mark of a great player or a player approaching greatness, or however you want to define that. And so as a result, it's that side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball, that really, for the most part, has to carry the Chiefs, or has carried the Chiefs. It's not to say that they don't have decent players on defense, but when you look at, I think there is a difference in the talent level between the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Mahomes is expected to do so much that is a concern, but the way in which they played this season, everybody. There were a lot of people that were expecting them to really take a step back,
Yeah,
and they didn't.
Minus Tariq. And, for me, with Andy Reid, I've had my Andy Reid experience, his rookie year of coaching back in '99. And to say that man has matured and become a great head coach is an understatement. I saw him early on taking on that Philadelphia Eagle team, and he got them to a few NFC championships, got them to one Super Bowl they never won, and they kicked this man out the door, and then he goes over to KC, and I think he's been there almost 10 years now.
He's been there for quite a while.
Quite a while,
Yeah.
and to see what he's done with that organization. And their identity, let's talk about their identity, because we'll talk about the Eagles at the top of next hour, but their identity, I think it's more wrapped around their offense and their creativity. They're and then obviously they have a Travis Kelce, but they are, you lose a Tyreek Hill, and then obviously everybody's, well, oh my God, what are they going to do without him? They just proceeded to bring in Juju Smith and some other players, and they stepped right into those roles. And they, and the genius of how Andy, some of the things they do, these underhand shuffle passes, and then I'll ask you, which it seems like every single week you watch a Chiefs game, and it's like, how are they not covering Travis Kelce?
That is,
it's an amazing
it's the same
question.
thing as when with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it's like, how do you not cover that guy?
Yeah.
And I'll explain it like this.
Okay.
They scheme him open. And
Okay, explain. I hear that quite a bit. So, what does it mean when you say scheme him open?
When you look at coverages, obviously there's man coverage, there's all these different type of zones, cover one, cover two, you got combo coverages, man, free, and different things like that.
Yes.
When these coordinators are looking at a defense, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you at levels.
Okay.
And they're trying to combo routes, meaning they're going to try to run a post with a corner coming on the backside of it, or a drag route coming underneath something.
Okay.
They're looking to create space in areas. And what they do with Travis Kelce, if you ever watch, you see him ever, he does those walk motions.
Yes, he does.
And sometimes that's just it's just to figure out what the coverage is. If he starts on the left side and he walks across to the other side, they're trying to see if anybody's following him to just figure out, decipher if it's man or if it's zone.
Yeah.
Then next part of the puzzle is, what zone are they putting on? Are they going to cover 2? Are they going to cover 3? Are they going to cover? So it's all these different types of coverages, and then what they do is they run, like I said, they run combo routes to figure out where they're going to get you. And it's unbelievable. And that's why when I say Andy Reid and his staff, and you got to give Bieniemy a lot of credit too, because they work together. It's magical to watch what they do, because you cannot tell me teams don't focus on him as like, we got to stop Kelce. And then at the end of the game, it's like 12 targets or 15 targets, and he had 12 catches for 110 yards.
Can I ask you, this wasn't on in terms of in our show notes, but the art of play calling. Can you talk about that a bit? Because you hear about when the play calls. One of the things we know that we were trying to go after Peyton for a while there, so, and that didn't happen. But it talked about how to call plays, and that is one of the things that I get about, or I hear about Andy Reid as well. It's not just that you have these plays, but the art of play calling. Is that what he is really good at?
It's genius what they do. And remember, we always talk about the first 15.
Yes.
They actually script what a great head coach or play caller will do. They will call things in their first 15 script to see how you're going to cover this and that, and react to certain situations. And that's what they're doing. They're basically they want you to show you their hand. We play cards, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you're playing a game of spades and you get to look at the other dude's hand.
Yeah.
Meaning, you see how many spades he has. He's got a lot of hearts. He's got this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Then you you can run him out of this, so you got nothing but this left, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's what a great player caller will do in the beginning. They're showing they're showing you what they want to show you, so that you can show them what they want to see. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it's an art. And what I the whole thing with Kingsbury all this time. Remember we talked about he was just out there with the play sheet, just calling stuff that was popping into his head,
and
that's not how you do it. You know
the rumor about Kingsbury too. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, so the Chiefs, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great game. I think they're going to have to stop the Philly run game, which is going to be tough.
Yes.
We'll talk about Philly at the top of next hour, and then we'll make our predictions. But I've been really impressed with what the Chiefs has done to this point, getting back to another Super Bowl, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they come out. And like I said, try to have Philly show them what they want to see. So
if Jalen Hurts, I don't know what that shoulder looking like. If they key in on that shoulder,
and also Mahomes' ankle. So we'll see. We come back, we're going to have another vendors join us. So I hope you're having a great start to your weekend, folks. We're here at the Pemberton, downtown Phoenix. Come hang out with us. Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS 1060 AM, KSLX HD channel 200.7 on Facebook, YouTube, you name it, we're out there. Hope you're having a great weekend. Folks, be back after these messages.
Are you kidding?
And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend, your Super Bowl weekend, folks. I can't believe it's finally here. Last game of the season, the big one. This segment right here is brought to you by
True Narrative Media. True Narrative Media understands in today's world the visual aspect of media is extremely effective in growing your business and expanding your brand awareness. True Narrative Media specializes in telling your unique story, providing a wide range of video services for companies and businesses of all sizes. For more information, call 623-335-0735 or visit TrueNarrativeMedia.com.
And speaking of True Narrative Media, we have Brother Mark Twain Beaver down here with us, getting it in. You can catch us on the Facebook feed, the YouTube, LinkedIn. It makes us look good. At least it makes me look good. I don't know what he does for you over there. But we got another couple of great vendors joining us here at the Pemberton. Make sure you come down and not just support this weekend, but every other one after. 1121 North 2nd Street here in Phoenix. We have Kristen Humphrey of Moiselle. Moiselle. Okay, there you go, Moiselle. And we also have Mike Murray, who's an artist here. We're going to talk to both of them. First off, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your business, Kristen.
I have a little tiny pink food truck over here, and it's actually huge. It's not tiny, it's huge. And we serve French wine, charcuterie, cheeses, cocktails.
So you're cultured.
I'm a little French bistro.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Oui, oui.
How did you get into that? Like, how's your passion?
I kind of just jumped around from job to job and ocean to ocean and airplane to airplane, living frivolously. And it led to me being a sommelier and well-versed in food. And I have a friend downtown. She owns Gracie's Tax Bar, Grace Berry. She got this opportunity and just said, like, hey, you want to go in this with me and do your creative vision? And it actually worked.
And Jay, I want you to look over your left shoulder and see that green bottle right there on the Perrier.
Oh.
She's got the Perrier.
Yeah.
See, you're making fun of me and my Perrier. See, I'm just cultured like that.
Only the finest water.
Only the finest water.
You deserve it.
So, and Mike, tell us about what you do here and what's part of what your passion is.
Yeah, I'm an artist, sculptor. I love to do large-scale art. And the Pemberton's commissioned me a few times now to do some large-scale art, including the large dress form out front, which is actually a video screen tonight. It comes to life. There's all kinds of light effects and shows on that. And then out back, one of the most pictured places in the Pemberton is the pallet tunnel called Helios. And as you pass through it, you're walking under and through 350 pallets.
How did you design that? And
Yes.
how did you, like, what kind of vision did you have to put that together?
Sure. So I've got a 20,000 square foot studio facility that I share with my business where we do large scale fabrication for marketing. But in that space, we're able to do some really large scale stuff. So we actually built it off site, transported it here in pieces, and set it up over the course of 3 days.
Okay.
That's very cool. So when it came to it, when somebody comes, when they're entering in, let's say trying different wines, how do you counsel them? How do you to take away some of the nerves that can come with trying to enter into something you're not as familiar with?
That's the perfect question because that's my whole theme here is I typically only serve French wine, but I make it super approachable French wine is some of the hardest to learn about and some of the oldest made. So I want like a pop art floor and a bright pink truck so people can enter into the space and just ask questions, taste everything. I put together wine education classes and like tastings once a month. And as soon as they walk up to the truck, I say, "What do you want? White or red? Let's taste 3. Like, let's talk about it." And so there are no bad questions. Everyone can just learn.
Why is French wine so difficult? What is the?
It's set up differently. The way the labels are read, you have to know what grows in the region. It's sometimes just the region on the label. It's been made since 1600. Monks made it in 500 AD. And it passed down from family to family to family. So they've all been doing it for generations. And the New World in California and stuff like that, not quite as long.
Mm-hmm.
So they have all these just steeped in tradition and all this history around it built into the culture that we really just don't know anything about yet. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's really elaborate.
So I want to pivot to, in terms of from art, where do you draw your inspiration from? Is it many things, or is there certain things that you would come back to when you're commissioned to do different things?
Yeah, I'd say my art is designed to be interacted with, even if it's static in nature. It's a moment to experience a different space, a different feeling. So most of what I do is designed to just stop somebody in their tracks, even if it's just to say, "Wow, that's different. That's neat." But just to kind of get people to stop and think a little bit.
What are some of the things you've done here in the area?
So this is a busy week. I was commissioned to do a large 45-foot tall saguaro cactus in the park.
Okay.
Hance Park for the Super Bowl host committee.
Awesome.
And that's also another light piece. So it's kind of a Arizona icon for those coming from out of town.
And when you do a piece, say you were commissioned to do that, after they're done using it, do you either get it back or do you donate it, or how does that work?
It depends. In this case, we're trying to figure out what to do with the cactus after the fact.
Okay.
But I'm going to probably set it up in my back lot facing the I-10 freeway for people driving through to see it. So.
Birthday party rental.
Yeah, birthday party rental. Very expensive birthday party rental.
So for both of you, when it comes to repeat business, right? So what does that look like? Do you have a lot of people that are coming in to taste some wine, and then they bring a friend with them? How does that work for you in terms of not only satisfying those that you interact with, but growing your footprint, and then for you as well when it comes to if somebody commissions you once, or they're commissioning you for something more than once? So.
We've really gotten to build like a sweet little community here. It's certainly niche, and it draws Pemberton has its own built-in community. People want to come, they want to party, but there are some people who are seeking out a full-blown wine experience. And I actually have this one girl, Portia, that comes. She's a 911 first responder call person. However you say that. Yeah. And she'll come after her shifts just exhausted and wiped. And she's like, "I need a new career. I just want to learn about wine." So we'll sit and drink wine together. And she started bringing in her friends. And it's really, for me, more about connection than it is about wine. Yeah. That wine is just my venue to connection.
And how long have you been here?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. And how did you find the community? Was it
through my friend Grace, who owns Gracie's Tax Bar? She was just kind of searching for another opportunity and stumbled on this, and I just lucked out.
Very cool.
And in terms of what does that look like for when do you happen to have that repeat business? And I'm curious how the commissioning for the piece, the cactus piece, came about.
Well, the cactus piece, I think, was actually the result of a Google search. but to speak to the repeat business, Jonathan Vento, one of the visionaries of Pemberton here, has been commissioning me for pieces for a few years now, and it's just this always seems to be the right venue for whatever I'm dreaming of.
And Mike's a well-known name in the Valley for sure for this kind of thing. Every event I've ever worked for 15 years, I somehow run into Mike there. Yeah.
So do either of you have a thought on the game? Because we got the big board over there. I'm not sure if you cast your vote yet.
I just really hope everyone has a nice time. Yeah. They're just...
Go Eagles! Go Eagles!
Go Eagles!
Now, why are you an Eagles fan?
I lived in Philadelphia for a year. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
when?
Yeah. 1989.
Oh, okay. I'm from the area. I'm from
Yeah.
South Jersey,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
you're right
Spent a
across
lot
the
of
Ben
time there.
Franklin. So yeah, okay.
Actually, my boyfriend does make me wear an Eagles shirt the night before every game because it worked in preseason.
Oh my goodness, yes, that's how that
Yeah,
works.
he won't do like a tarot reading or look at astrology with me, but he is insanely superstitious.
Yeah. It's laying out right now when you get
Yeah.
home.
So
It's
you
ready.
both-
It's washed and ready.
Do you both have social media and ways to get in touch?
Yeah,
How can our
absolutely.
listeners follow you?
2 minutes.
So we are Moiselle, like MoiSellelPHX. That's our Instagram handle. That's our website. We do large scale caterings. Yeah, whatever you want, I'll make it happen.
Okay.
If it involves cheese, food, and wine.
And how about you, Mike?
The only way to find me is on Instagram under Mike Murray Art.
Mike Murray Art. I'm gonna have to go take a peek, man, because I have not an artistic bone in my body, but I love it.
But you're
So,
creative.
yeah, I guess you could say that. He's the artist. He's the rapper, the
1 minute.
verbal artist. But we can't thank you guys enough. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
This is very
And as always, like I said, we're going to continue to support everything you do. And I wouldn't mind a Perrier later on.
Yeah, let's get you some bubbles, baby.
Perrier. So, hey, we're going to take this break. Appreciate you hanging out. Easy and Jay, Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS 1060 AM, as well as KSLX HD Channel 2, 100.7, coming to you live from the Pemberton, 1121 North 2nd Street. Make sure you come out and support all these local businesses and entrepreneurs, artists, etc. So,
Speak on it.
yes,
Thank you
yes.
so
Make sure you
much.
come out here. And not just for this occasion, for all occasions. So,
Yeah, it means a lot to you. I'm a local business myself,
Yeah.
so I know what it be.
we're going to take this break. Hope you're having a great start to your Saturday, your Super Bowl Saturday, that is. Easy and Jay, be back after these messages, folks.
Are you kidding?
Thanks for Mark coming out. We got Hans out here, Dakota, Quentin, Elian, Elijah. Got a whole bunch of people. And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. One of the great things about doing some of these remotes is like when we're out in the big crowds and everything is the people. We get a chance to interact during the breaks, and we have such great visibility, like I said, and then we have our great friends and guests that come join us as well, which we're going to have here in a second. In the meantime, though, first, this segment right here is brought to you by
Tryst Cafe. Tryst Cafe focuses on organic, natural cuisine from the kitchen to the bar. The extensive gluten-free menu and expanding vegan options are always unique and flavorful. Tryst Cafe is a 2-category top 10 winner in Ranking Arizona 2022. For locations and information, go to trystcafe.com. We know that Tryst Cafe has been listed as one of the best places for couples to go and dine and for a night out. So make sure you get your reservations right now. Go to trystcafe.com for either one of their 2 locations. Tryst Cafe, where an affair with naturally delicious food awaits.
And it is Valentine's Day on what day? The
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Make sure you get your reservations for Tryst. They are actually going very fast. I was talking to Lisa through email. Make sure you get your reservations because when they're all filled up, they're filled up. You want to be standing outside. So go to trystcafe.com to find locations. The Phoenix location right there across the street from Desert Ridge, and the other one's in Chandler. So make sure you definitely go get your reservations early. So we're going to sit here with one of my most favorite people in the world, Miss Deborah Dubree, came out to hang out with us. First, thank you for joining us, Deborah.
It's my
giving
pleasure
us part
always.
of giving us part of your Saturday, coming to sit with Easy and Jay. Been a while. I haven't seen you in a minute.
I
Matter of fact, the
know.
last time I saw you was in the fall, in the winter, I think it was. You were at the Scottsdale Tryst, the Phoenix
At Tryst,
Tryst
yes.
Cafe location.
It was Scottsdale.
Yeah.
We're up north.
Yeah. So wanted to talk to you is great. Like when we have certain topics and things like that, it's like they fall right into your wheelhouse. And just this week, we were sitting and talking about the Arizona Cardinals still have not made their selection for a new head coach. And we know it's been a journey for them.
Been a minute,
Really
yeah.
bad year in terms of on and off the field. And this past week, Jay and I, we were like, well, okay, we went another week. They haven't named a head coach. But by next Saturday, they surely would have done it. And lo and behold, they are still without a head coach. They had some interviews scheduled this week. On Monday, they announced that Vance Joseph, Brian Callahan, who was the Bengals OC, and the Lions DC, Aaron Glenn, they were all eliminated from contention. And their 3 finalists were Brian Flores, Used to be the head coach in Miami. Was assistant with the Steelers this past season. Giants OC Mike Kafka, and then the Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anaruma. And lo and behold, on Tuesday, I think it was, Brian Flores, he was like, well, I can't wait around for you guys. I got to, take care of mine. He ended up becoming the Vikings' new defensive coordinator.
Yep.
And we are down to 2 candidates because everybody else seems to have either fallen off the list or decided not to take this job. And my thought to you, Deborah, was, oh my goodness, like, what is going? First off, what type of leader do the Cardinals need to take over this mess? They went out and got a GM, but it seems like, I mean, we're having a little trouble trying to replace one Cliff Kingsbury, which you would have thought that would have been easy to do. But what type of mess are we in right now out here in Arizona?
It's like anything is better than.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, I look at Kingsbury, and a couple things are Burry. One of the things I used to see with him is anytime I've interviews after the game, it's like, we're going to try to do better. We're going to, we've got to do better. And I'm like, dude, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
What's the plan? How are you going to make it better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at if we bring a head coach in, or when we bring a head coach in, because they've got to, first thing they've got to do is have individual meetings with every single player and build rapport. And at the same time they're doing that, and I'm not talking just, O-line, D-line, special teams, the top guys, you got to go all the way through the thing.
Roster.
Find out individually what's their own identity, because I don't think they know what it is anymore, their own individual identity and what are their goals. And then you start to understand what are the triggers, what triggers them during a game that you've got to now somehow manage, and what's the motivators for each one that you've got to learn how to manage, and then actually lead, but lead in a collaborative way. It's, in practices, some of the things that I heard about, Kingsbury and going on in practices and that is you've got to take charge.
Thank you.
You can collaborate with players and that, but at some point you just say, I'm the UDM, I'm the ultimate decision maker. And this is what we're doing.
Can I remember it was about a month or so ago, Jay, we were watching the Hard Knocks, and he made one statement that I'm going to bring up that really it triggered something in me.
Yeah.
There was one of the episodes where Kingsbury came in, and once again, it was the same old. And he was like, look, I'm trying to treat you guys like equals. And I thought to myself, you're the head coach. You're not supposed to be equals with these guys. And if you're a CEO, Deborah, and the corporation is going down the tubes, and you're trying to rally the troops, and you come in and make a statement like that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I look at even when I owned a corporation and work now with senior leaders and CEOs in corporations, and as well as working with players, you've got to have a leadership where when you walk in the room, the aura changes in the room. That the guys know, not that they're afraid of you, but they actually are like, okay, all right, now it's time to get down to business, because you bring that type of energy with you. And if people are screwing up and not playing at their best, you got to call them on it. And I don't care who they are or what, where they are on the roster. It's just a ridiculous situation that they were in, and it comes from the top down.
I got a question about that. So when we talk about trying to establish that you're the ultimate decision maker, oftentimes teams will go from one end of the spectrum to the other. So if they have somebody who's a disciplinarian, then they go and get somebody who's much more lax, and then it's back and forth and back and forth. Do you think that's a good approach, or should it be more of a measured, balanced approach with you understanding that you are the team, understanding you're the ultimate decision maker, regardless of whether you're going to push them or try to ease back a little bit? Do you think that's a good approach?
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's absolutely a measured balance, because when you know your players, you know what to say to them in order to get them back into motivated.
All right, Earl's all set with his guest. Let's get to it.
If you are a disciplinarian, that you're just a hard ass.
Speaking of a hard ass,
it's not good.
We have a special guest on the line on the Easy Sports Talk hotline. We got Bruce Arians that's going to be joining us. So we got him on. If we want to bring him on, Aaron.
I like Bruce.
Casual E, always doing.
He's
his
all
thing.
set your life.
How you doing, Coach?
5 minutes. Big coach guys from KD.
Can you hear us?
That's
Hey,
Earl.
how you doing, Coach? Earl.
How you doing?
Hey, Coach. How you doing? It's great to thank you for coming on. How is everything with you as you are in the Valley right now?
It's fantastic. Getting ready to have a little foundation event, raising awareness and some money for the kids here in the Valley.
Tell us a little bit about that foundation, because I know you're hanging out with one of our favorite guys, Casual E, Earl Burnett. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's the Arians Family Foundation, and we're at SPK in Scottsdale here from 12 to 3 this afternoon. Bunch of great stuff here to auction items, and some of the guys that are going to come and hang out with us, former players of ours. And so, yeah, it's going to be a fun event for the next 4 hours.
I'm curious, Coach, when you're back in the Valley here, everywhere you go, or are people out shaking their hand, trying to shake your hand and give you a hug? Because I know we miss a coach like you here in the Valley.
Come back.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The support that we've had here the whole
I sent you a text, Jay.
still now is just amazing. We started this foundation here in the Valley for the kids in Maricopa County, and we're just so grateful for all the love and support we've had from all the fans.
So, Coach, in terms of like what's a day in the life of Coach Arians like right now? Because I'm sure that people are trying to pull you all kinds of different ways. You're here, obviously, for a great cause for your foundation. But what's a day in the life like? Are you still consulting? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, I'm still consulting, working on the draft, trying to do some stuff for Jason Light in the draft, and we've done a great job the last 3 years in the draft. So, doing that part of it now, and go back and. Whatever they need for me to do, I'm consulting for the next couple of years. So whatever they need of me is kind of my job is, what do you think? And I give an answer.
So, Coach, great to have you on the show. Appreciate taking some time. Give us your thoughts on this game coming up, and if you have a pick, we'll put you on the big board here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great, great game. I think for me, the deciding factor is going to be my guy Hassan Reddick and that Philly pass rush. I think they're so dynamic with that secondary they've got. But I think it's going to be a hell of a close game, and I got Philly 31-30.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
So, Coach, I got to ask this: when it comes to, because you're consulting, doing things as a coach, when do you know when it's time to say to almost like wash your hands of a player, to say I've done all I can? It's time for you to go to a new situation. Because I know, like with Hassan Reddick, we miss him here. We could definitely use him here on the Cardinals. But what's that look like when you've done all you can with the player to say, sorry, we got to let you move on to the next opportunity?
Yeah, I think for Hassan it was finding the right fit while he was here, and then we had that big year, and then sometimes you wonder, oh, was that just a one thing? But obviously it's not. He's a hell of a player, and it just didn't work out for Arizona, but it sure is working out in Philly.
And Coach, what are your thoughts on you got the last 3 years of him, but what were your thoughts as far as working with one Tom Brady, and what do you think about him finally hanging the cleats up?
Oh, it's amazing, Tom. What he did for the city of Tampa, when he decided to join up with us, and to win a Super Bowl together. He's such an unbelievable, great teammate, great human being, and I love him to death. And what he's done for the city.
2 minutes, 2.
Well, Coach, real quick, again, let folks know how they can get involved with everything that you're doing. Is there a website that we can send people to?
Yeah, AriansFamilyFoundation.com. And come on out. We're going to have a hell of a time this afternoon.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate your time. I got this big knucklehead next to me that was a former NFL player, and we often talk about coaches like yourself that make lasting impressions. So thank you for a few minutes of your time. And tell that big-headed dude, Earl, that we said thanks for getting you on here.
You got it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, man.
Have a great one, Coach. Coach Bruce Arians, man. And like you said, we miss him here. You do not know what you have until it's gone sometime, and they let the wrong dude go. Let's just say that much. So we're gonna take this break coming up, I think, and then maybe hang out with her for a few more minutes, Deborah. But yeah,
happy to.
Such a great show so far. That was a nice treat, and we got to send a shout out to Brother Earl for getting Coach on with us, even just for a few minutes. So we're coming to you live today from the Pemberton here in Phoenix, 1121 North 2nd Street. Right next to, what was it? What the cross street? More?
What was that? Mark Renzi, Hans Park.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a big Frito-Lay event there, too. So
Frito-Lay, man.
Yes, you got
Get
it.
them chips, man.
30.
Hey, we're going to take this break. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show. KDUS 1060 AM as well as KSLX HD channel 200.7. Too long a list to even run down with all the celebrities and folks we have hanging out with us. So take this break. Be back here after these messages, folks. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. Super Bowl weekend, that is, too. And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. The cool thing about live radio is sometimes you just got to be on your feet. You know, we had the coach call in last segment. Thanks to Brother Earl. Appreciate
Casual
that.
E, yes,
Casual
sir.
E. And we had the shuffle. You know, we had Deborah on with us. And we, you know, it's almost like a game, man. You just got to make your adjustments as you kind of go through it. So we're going to keep moving. We're going to got a special guest joining us here. But before that, this segment right here is brought to you by.
Did
I get you?
Got me on that one.
Oh.
What we got on this one?
Actually, I don't know. We might have to make one up because this is the eighth.
Actually, I don't know, man. We have to make it. Oh, yeah. Well, shoot, I know who it's going to be. Brought to you by Majestic Services. Contact Majestic Services to do all the dirty work around your home or business. Majestic Services will pressure wash your driveways, awnings, pool decks, sidewalks, receiving docks, and more. Call Majestic Services at 602-614-9401 or go to majesticservices.net for your free, no-obligation quote today.
So we got Brother Rodney Hughes joining us, a good friend of Mark Twain Beaver. We talked earlier this week, and Mark was like, hey, my good brother wants to come on and talk about something. I said, what? Cigars. I was like, hey, get that man on this show. So we got Rodney Hughes here. Kasi? Kasi.
Yeah.
Kasi Cigars.
Yeah.
First off, thank you for coming out, man. We're braving this traffic and all the street closures and all that kind of stuff.
It was a little crazy.
Getting down here is crazy.
man.
But tell us a little bit about your personal background first and how Kasi Cigars came to be.
Well, I'm originally from Detroit.
Okay.
I moved here to AZ.
Lions man?
Yeah, for sure. You know, by default, but yeah. We're going to roll with them, win, lose, or draw. And I'm from a small city. If anybody watched the BMF series, they talk about a city called Ecorse a lot. That's where me and Mark are from.
Okay.
We're from a small city in southwest Detroit. So I got a basketball background. I play at a HBCU, Hampton University.
Okay, I know Hampton.
Yeah, I'm from a city. In high school, I played for River Rouge. We actually won 2 state championships.
Okay.
Top 25 in the nation. So that's my history, is really basketball.
Small forward?
3 through the 5, depending on who we playing.
There you go.
Yeah, it's flexible. So, and then so I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Ever since 1996, I was 16 years old, and my uncle ran an Avis rent-a-car, and I was working for him, and I got a check for like $1,000, and I was excited. I'm $16,000. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So then he showed me his check. His check was $10,000. Sure. He said this is the difference between an employee and an employer.
Oh,
and
there
I
you go.
never wanted to work for anybody ever since.
Okay.
So fast forward, after college, I actually came to Phoenix for a minute with the Globetrotters. A lot of people don't know that the Globetrotters was in Phoenix. They're not actually in Harlem.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And when that didn't pan out, I went back home and started my businesses. I'm a photographer by trade. Paparazzi Photography is my company. And I have multiple things that I do, and cigars is one.
Okay.
And like I said, I was telling you when we was off air, I came in here in 2017 for the Pat Tillman run. And my brother and I went to the Fox Cigar Bar in Scottsdale.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that was when I got my love for cigars. That was my first time ever even trying cigars. But back home, I didn't have really a community that smoked cigars. So I never smoked them in Detroit, only when I came to AZ to visit my brother.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, 2020, I moved here. So when I moved here, I started a podcast. I had a podcast network called Real Ish Radio. And I started a podcast called Cigars with Friends. And in the midst of all that, just networking, doing what you do on social media, I met a guy in Nicaragua. But at the time, I didn't know he was in Nicaragua. I thought he was in the States. So I'm trying to get him to sponsor the podcast. But when I realized he wasn't in the country, it didn't benefit him to sponsor us.
Yeah.
So being an entrepreneur, I said, well, what would it take for me to start my own brand?
Yeah.
So we got the network. It took about 6 months to get everything how we wanted it. And then I launched the brand. And the next thing is figuring out a name.
Yeah.
So everything I try to do, I wanted to have some significance to some substance, right?
Yeah.
So the name is my kid's name. My oldest daughter name is K. Marie. So the K.A. is her first 2 initials. My youngest daughter's name, Natalia Simone. So the second part of the name is her first initials or her middle name. So that's how I came up with Casa.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how I got there.
How do you, there are certain industries that I would imagine are easy to get into, and then there are certain industries that are incredibly hard to get into because of the nature of them. And which one is cigars? Because for me, I'm thinking from the outside looking in, it's got to be pretty hard to go start your own brand of cigars.
I wouldn't say hard. Sometimes it's just being in the right position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once I met the guy, the rest was on me for the hustle part. So I'm an entrepreneur. This is what I do. I'm gonna figure it out. So we do majority of our sales online, but we do a lot of in-person sales, or just, I might be out, like I got a backpack full with me right now. You know what I'm saying? I might be out here, get to running off at the mouth and sell some in the streets.
Yeah.
Just, Master P approach right out the trunk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't feel like it's hard. It was hard finding that connection. But once you find the connect, it's on you after that.
Yeah.
And we literally was at Puro last night in Chandler, and everything go right. We got a meeting on Tuesday. We'll be in their humidor as well.
Okay.
So it's I wouldn't say it's hard. It's what you put in it.
So in terms of your site is KasiCigars.com, right?
Kasi. KA-SI-cigars.com. No, it's all good, brother.
But so in terms of trying to carve out that niche for you, or your market, your lane online, how is that for you in terms of trying to do that as you're trying to get the physical product into the stores as well? What's the most challenging thing about growing your footprint and your brand?
Well, I think the most challenging is, like you said, is getting into stores. And then I don't really want, right now at this point, 'cause we're only a year in, I don't want to be in a lot of stores. I just want to be in a few, because if you don't know me, but you seeing Rocky Patel, you seeing Olivia, all these brands that's been around forever, why would you choose mine?
Right.
So what I do is I just use my social media, because I already got a bunch of followers on Facebook, Instagram, just from photography and just me. You know what I mean? So I try to leverage that to build out the brand. So most of my sales right now are coming online, but once I get into a few stores, that gives me more validity when I say, well, you can also go to this cigar bar and get it. You can also stop at this store and get them. And it just, I think, want to work with the other. That's the plan I'm going with.
So let's talk about your cigar, your brand. Because they're just like wines, different other products. There are levels, different strengths. Let's talk about your cigar in particular.
Well, I got 3 different blends.
Okay.
And like I say, everything I do has some type of significance. So I have a barber pole, which is actually a 5x50. It's a medium. It's a Connecticut, and it's an Indonesia with a Nicaraguan and Peru filler, right?
Okay.
And I named that Granny Randall. That's after my grandma that passed away.
Okay.
So everything I do is connected to either my family or something that I love. You know what I mean? And then I have a Connecticut, which is a 6x60. And this one is actually called the Big Red, which is my father's name.
Okay.
He passed in 2020, but it's like a homage to him. You know what I mean? And then my favorite out of the brand, the one I smoke the most, is actually a Toro, and it's a Maduro. And I named that Detroit, just from where I'm from. So I'm representing wherever I'm at whenever my brand is pushed out.
I like that.
So the thing about cigars, I love a good cigar. You pair them with different things. A good cognac goes with this. Do you have certain adult beverages that pair with?
Yeah. See, I don't drink personally. Okay. So when I'm drinking, when I'm smoking, it's either with a tea or just Makes mostly a tea. I'm always either with a tea or even a pop. So the people that do drink, the Connecticut pairs well with a cognac. You know what I'm saying? And then the Detroit is more of a bourbon.
Okay.
But it's different palates. So your palate might say something totally different.
Yeah.
But I got an option for everybody.
Okay.
That's the plan.
So tell everybody how they can follow you and where they can see you, man.
You can follow me on Instagram at Kasi Cigars, cigars. And anywhere you Google Kasi Cigars, it'll pop up, and the website is ka-si-cigars.com. And also, I bought y'all a sampler pack.
Bro, I see you got the sampler pack online.
That's
what's up. Yes, sir. That's what's up, man. We're going to continue to support you too, man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for hooking us up too, Mark.
Yeah,
great,
man, appreciate
great
it.
hookup.
Shout out to Mark. We just some kids from E-Course, man. That's what we do.
Normally we'd be wrapping up the show. We got another hour to go. We're going to have some other great guests joining us. And hope you're having a great start to your Super Bowl weekend, folks. Easy, Jay, Rodney, Mark, Brother Hans, Quentin, we got everybody, Dakota, Elian, you name it. Hey, we're going to take this break. Be back after these messages. Like I said, that's why I love these type of shows, man.
For sure.
So, hey, appreciate you coming out, brother Rodney.
My man.
You got it, man. And thanks for the sample, too. And welcome back. Very rarely do I say it, but welcome back to hour 3 of the Easy Sports Talk Show. We do these every now and then. We have an extended show, so we had the airtime, and KDUS gracious enough to let us have it. This segment right here is brought to you by
Colt Artisan Beverage Company, the official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show. One of the first to launch nitrogen-infused coffee. They offer everything from specialty coffees to a botanical infusion line of caffeine and sugar-free brewed beverages. Call Colt Artisan Beverage Company at 623-434-0939 or visit ilovecolt.com for more information. And you can find Colt really everywhere you go, so get on it, man.
Yes, indeed. You know what's cool, Jay, is we do studio shows every now and then, and those are cool, those are fun. It's always good to go in and see Aaron and hang out. But, our thing is the remote, and especially the big remotes like these. Yeah. I love being out in the people. I'm a man of the people. So I like being around the people. So
You annoy the people. That's what you do.
But if you want to get in touch with us, call us on the Easy Sports Talk hotline 602-260-1060. Aaron's behind the glass. If you want to tweet at us at the Easy Sports Talk, at Ed Smith Speaks, and at Devon Love and that's Love with LUV. So we're going to continue on. Got another hour here with the show. We're going to switch our attention. Once again, I think there's some football game. There's a lot of people in town for some reason. There's some football game going on tomorrow, the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 57.
True that.
And we talked a little bit about the Chiefs at the top of last hour. We talked a little bit about those Eagles, which I was, I guess, blessed enough to play with back in 1999 under one coach, Andy Reid. Great to see him here, but also good to see the Eagles.
Did you see him?
I saw an imitation of him.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a picture of it when I was getting my
Yeah, because
credentials.
I saw on Ben Maller's.
I was getting my
Facebook,
credentials yesterday, and there was a guy, and he looks just
and
like.
he had a replica ring.
Yeah,
and everything,
replica ring and everything.
Yeah.
People in the line as we're waiting to get our credentials, like they're whispering, "That's Andy Reid. That's Andy Reid." I'm thinking, "That's not Andy Reid. Andy Reid is not standing in line to get his credentials for media day." But I will say this much: that man, you talk about doppelgangers, is that what they call it?
Yes,
that's a
they do.
doppelganger for your behind right
Yes,
there.
indeed.
Because he fooled a lot of people, and I even had to make sure. I was like, "You're not Andy Reid, are you?" I was gonna make sure.
I know you're
Everybody
not, but I just wanna make
yeah,
sure
I just
you're
want to make
not.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a car, I took a picture with him and everything. But the Eagles are in town. My next door neighbor, we had him on last week, Matt Philly Scudero. He's
Yeah.
going to be going out of his mind tomorrow for this game. We'll see.
Did he make it to any of the events?
I know he went down. I actually had to go feed the dog, his dog one day because he was down for the Super Bowl for the experience.
Yeah.
So he sent me a text. I actually went next door and fed Bella his dog because they were gone for the rest of the evening. So I know he was down for that. I'll have to check in with him to see if he actually got tickets for the game. I do know some people that are going to the game. One I have to tell you about. I forgot to tell you one person I heard is going to the game, and you'll get a kick out of it. But
I'll guess in the break.
yeah. So in the meantime, we got those Philadelphia Eagles, the same 16-3 as the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the ones that are favored by 1.5 in this game.
Before we get into it, I want to. Both of these teams are great examples of drafting.
Yes,
because
homegrown.
Oftentimes, teams. I think there are those teams that have the philosophy of we'll just build it through free agency and we'll make trades, and if you have those people that are homegrown, not only do you get more time with them before you have to end up paying them more, right?
Can I correct your speech real quick?
Yes.
They drafted properly. Everybody gets a draft. Everybody gets the draft.
Got you.
Every team gets the draft.
Right.
They draft properly.
Proper. Like Hammer used to say.
Yeah, like the Cardinals should draft properly, but they've never done it. Let me ask you a question. What if the Philadelphia Eagles shored up on both sides that the Cardinals have never
Offensive
done?
and defensive line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the staples of their team. That offense that every time, first thing people, how's Kansas City going to deal with that offensive line or that defensive line? They also, and in addition, they also went and got players like a Hassan Reddick, who others threw on the trash heap. They saw enough value in him to go get him. And what's he doing? He's wrecking church. I mean, like a 2-year-old having a fit in the middle of the sermon, right? Wrecking church.
Wow.
Yeah. You got a mother got to get up and take that crying baby outside because we're raising so much sin in the middle of that church. That's what Hassan Reddick is doing. He's just wrecking church, boy. But I get off topic. Let's start.
Oh man,
they built the Eagles the proper way.
Yes.
And once again, a common opponent, the Cardinals. They faced the Cardinals in Week 5, and they beat us 20-17. They were actually this year's last version of undefeated team.
Yeah.
And at one point, everybody's, oh my God, they could go. No, nobody's ever going undefeated. But they were the last undefeated team. Ever? Well, once upon a time.
No, I'm saying you don't think that it'll happen again?
Nah,
ever?
it's too long a season, especially when you start tacking on 17.
Yeah.
But so they're 16-3. Last appearance in the Super Bowl was Super Bowl 52 against the Patriots, which they won 41-33.
Yeah.
I think it was Tom's last loss. It was in February 2018. So, Eagles, like you said, built from the ground up, shored up on both fronts, offense and defensive line. What are some of their other strengths that you see?
Man, resilience.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that I heard in terms of it driving in today was that I guess what will happen if they have to play from behind.
Yeah.
So they've because of the style of play that they have. Once they get that lead, then it's really tough for them. They don't really like to give that up, which
Let me
makes
ask you a
sense.
question too, because they came into the season. Remember we talked earlier about the doubts because Kansas City was going to be minus one Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Everybody doubted Hurts from the beginning. You know, he made it to the playoffs
They keep
last year.
telling you what you're not, as opposed to what you can do.
Exactly.
Man.
He's been doubted all through his career, but they obviously he is the because without him they lost 2 games without him this year. When he went down with that shoulder,
Yeah.
he is the glue that holds that team together. If you ask me.
Yeah. The thing that is most interesting to me is because when you mentioned Hurts, that going into the season they said, well, if he doesn't get it done this year, then they just got to replace him. What sense does that make? Because this is year what? This is year two for him.
Yeah.
This is year 2 for him.
And he got you to the playoffs last year. Yeah.
And you saying we might need to switch it up?
Yeah.
Really? Come on now.
The Eagles are going to be rewarded because in not going out and using first-round picks.
I think they were probably tempted because of all the chatter.
Yeah. But by not doing that, you now get rewarded with this great young quarterback. Now you got all this draft capital. They're only going to get better because they kept those first-round picks that they had, and now can start stocking the. Now the big question now comes because you're going to have to pay him eventually.
Yeah.
Does he take a little less cheddar to keep your to give you ability to do some things as far as
those are
other
questions to
pieces.
be had to really dive into offseason. But I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
Do you give up your money in the hopes that your employer will then take that money that they would have spent on you and spend it and spread it across players, not just to say, okay, we saved $20 million.
Let's put it right here. So that's what the Patriots did for all those years with Tom. Tom was giving them the hometown discount, and they were taking it. Instead of them going out and shopping at the Fifth Ave Saks on Fifth Avenue, they were going to Goodwill. No offense to Goodwill.
Right.
They were going to Goodwill, taking the money he saved for them, and just So it was one of those things where, like you said, they have to do the right thing if he's going to be helping them save all that money.
Yeah.
But, like I said, they have stockpiled themselves. They put themselves in a good space for the future, though.
Yeah, this could be one of those things where you would hope that they would be contenders for a while because of the way in which you mentioned that they looked at the draft in a proper way.
How do the Eagles win this game if they win it? What do they have to do?
Get ahead.
What's their formula?
Get ahead and run the ball. Because it's harder to be able to stick with your running mentality.
2 minutes, too.
When it comes if you're behind. I mean, and that's the mark of a coach that says, all right, I really want to get out of character now, but I'm going to stay in character here and do what is necessary for us to win. So yes, get ahead early, whether that's a field goal, whether it's a field goal, get ahead and really stick to your game plan.
Yeah, this game this game could go one of two ways. It could be one of those real quick ones because there's going to be a lot of ground action, or
which the NFL would hate.
They would hate, but they'll stretch it. They're going to stretch it out regardless.
No matter what.
We're going to get those commercials, those 10-minute commercial breaks. You better be ready. Woo. And then the halftime. That was the worst part of playing the Super Bowl for me was that extended halftime, especially because we were trailing, and it was like I wanted to get right back on the field and try to correct this. But it's like I said, we were sitting in there. It felt like forever. Yeah. But regardless of what we did, we just didn't stand a chance that particular Sunday against the Denver Broncos. So, hey, when we come back, we're going to have a special guest join us, Mr. Lance Baumvold. He's going to join us. Great to have him down. We got some other people. We're going to try to sneak in the rest of the show as well. But been such a fun show so far. We've had a lot of people join us. If you haven't come down and seen the Pemberton yet, you need to come down here. There's so much going on. Food, the great atmosphere, and then you got the Frito-Lay event going on next to us. But, like I said, not just this weekend, for weekends moving forward. And I think Dakota has something for us to nibble on. I see her standing over there, so we're going to have to do a quick eat in a few seconds here.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS 1060 AM, KSLX HD Channel 201.7. Hope you're having a great weekend so far, folks. Great Super Bowl Saturday so far. We're going to take a break and be back after these messages. Go ahead and hit it with them, Jay.
Are you okay?
And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you're having a great weekend. One of the blessing and the curse of being on some of these great remotes today is they bring us all this food and stuff, and you only have so many seconds to eat it during breaks. But, I'm trying to stall so you can get your laugh.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
This segment right here is brought to you by
Milano Music. Family owned and operated since 1946, Milano Music is Arizona's oldest and largest premier destination music store. The 50,000 square foot showroom features a must-see giant wall of guitars. There are hundreds to choose from as they carry the most popular brands in stock. A complete music store, you'll find everything you need, from digital pianos, drums, and recording gear to orchestral products. For hours of operation and additional information, call Milano Music at 480-827-1111 or visit milanomusic.com. That's MILANO music.com.
And joining us, we have Lance Thonvold. Is that how you said? Lance Thonvold. This is our first time meeting Lance. We had connected about a month and a half ago or so. We've been talking about getting you out to the show. This is a great opportunity. First off, thank you for braving the traffic and whatever it took, parking to get here. I know it's not easy with these streets being closed and not knowing where to go, but appreciate you making it down.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about because you're a fellow athlete, retired, now family man, speaker, etc. Tell us a little bit about your personal life, and then we'll get into what you're doing professionally as well.
Man, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on, first and foremost.
Pleasure, man.
Got to say thank you to the One Most High. I think, the big thing for me is family. Like, I got my family out here. I got my 2 little kids. I got a 2-year-old named Radlin. I got a little boy named Ranger, and then I got my beautiful wife, Kaylee. I can't ever take a microphone or talk without telling my little story about her. She's just a gift from God in my life, so thank you, Kaylee. I got my mom out here, my in-laws supporting me.
Hi, Mom.
So I live out in Mesa, do a lot of motivational speaking, schools, teams, public schools, Christian schools, you name it. Wherever God going to take me, I'm going to speak.
Originally from Minnesota, I think
from
you were?
Minnesota.
And tell us about your background in terms of where you played ball and everything like that.
Yep, so Minnesota Golden Gophers. Shout out to the Gophers out here. I know there's some Hawkeye fans probably roaming around, but tough to welcome them in. I'm just playing. But yeah, Minnesota Gopher was a blessing to play in my hometown in that area from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Big school, 5A school out there. So winning was just in the culture. We won a state championship, national championship. Then I got to Minnesota. And then, I really was just trying to live out my childhood dream. Much like you, I just really wanted to go to the next level. And that was always on my heart. That was really what was on the throne of my life. It was
You're a pitcher? Okay.
Right-handed pitcher. Got drafted out of University of Minnesota to the Seattle Mariners, and
what round did you go in?
I went in the 24th round in 2015.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us about that experience, because I know the minor league baseball experience. You played how many years before you got hurt?
Yep. So I played 4 seasons with Seattle. Man, it was just a dream come true. It was really everything that I wanted out of life. But what I tell the kids now, and I tell everybody, I got a lot of things that I wanted, but I had very little that I needed inside of my heart. Like, I still had an empty heart, even though I was fulfilling a lot of dreams that I was chasing. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. Seattle, great place to be. An insane complex out here in Peoria.
Yeah.
You're running around with guys, and, I wasn't at the major league level, but you're seeing major leaguers. Nelson Cruz, Felix Hernandez, Robinson Cano. It was just crazy to be in the same gym as them, just to see that elite level of performance and mindset, just being around that. Ken Griffey Jr. came to the complex sometimes, Ichiro Suzuki. It was just insane, man.
Yeah.
It was a dream come true. Played really well. I had 4 seasons, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and most of them were plagued by injury.
Yeah.
But, man, it was a great experience. It really changed my mindset. It changed – everything changed – as I had those habits and disciplines needed as a professional athlete.
And you were cut short by injury. You talked about what type of injury? Shoulder, elbow?
Tommy John surgery is what really hit me hard. But, 85% of people that have Tommy John, they make it back better and stronger.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, I was among the 15%.
Okay.
9 months into my Tommy John, I had a stress fracture. Oof. 15 months later, I had a loose fragmented bone.
Okay.
Then I had PRP and I had stem cell. And for 3 straight years, I was hurt. We're always going back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm trying to figure out my life, like, what's going on? Why is this being removed from me? Like, why God? Why me? But, in the whole time throughout that, there's a bigger mission that was happening.
And tell us about the mission, because you pivoted after the career was over. What direction did you go?
Yeah, man. What I always tell people is, you know, as I was rehabbing my elbow, like God was rehabbing my heart. Like I had to be locked up in order to be set free. Like he had to set me free inside the confines of Peoria, Arizona.
Okay.
Like he had to do some things to my heart in order for me to be ready for the work that I'm doing now. So like my message for somebody out there right now is you're being planted, you're not being buried.
Okay.
Like there are times in your life where you think that, man, God's burying me, like I'm being buried in the ground. No. Child, like you are being planted for a higher purpose. You're being planted for a higher calling, but you gotta marinate a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you gotta develop those deep roots, and so that you can be strong, so that you can have your ultimate harvest in life. I mean, it didn't come easy. After those 3 years, man, I was lost. Like my career-wise was lost while everything in my family was blossoming. Like, let me just say that. Like, my wife, I got married, you know, my relationships were going amazing, but my career as a man was going into the dumps. And that's a hard place to be. Did some real estate, did some travel stuff, you know, landed in solar, which was really, really stable for me, still is. And then, you know, speaking kind of came out of a whim. Like, I just had people hitting me up, hey, man, you got a powerful testimony for God, like a powerful testimony for Jesus. Can you come out and talk to our kids with Fellowship of Christian Athlete? And that's where I started in 2019.
Okay.
It started with 8 kids, you know, and pouring my heart out just as pure as I can be. Like, this is what happened to me. Like, God is still faithful. Like, God is still good, even though you might not be in a good scenario. Like, let's not get confused with our circumstances and our calling.
Yeah.
Like, our circumstances may not be right in where we want to be, but your calling on your life is much bigger.
Let me ask you this, though. So when it comes to the things that you were doing, you mentioned that in terms of professionally, maybe you were still trying to, on that journey to find, but in terms of family-wise, personally, there you were finding that being fulfilled. How many times does somebody have to tell you your testimony can help others before it clicked and you decided to go down that journey? Let's begin that journey.
That's really good. I had one person, Jason Ford, who was head of FCA in Arizona, reach out to me consistently before I saw it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it was a long time before I saw, you know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago is when I really started taking speaking seriously. But prior to that, I was just doing it because I was being asked. So you're right. It did take a little while before I was like, okay, this can be a message for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just for Fellowship of Christian Athletes. This is for everybody in the world.
Right.
But that takes sanctification. That takes time with God for him to reveal those layers of your story.
Right.
So it did take me some time before it clicked. Like, okay, I got something here.
No, go ahead.
No, so when you're going, and so obviously being a public speaker, doing the different things that you do, are there times, or can you think of moments where, because it's one thing to be motivated, right? To be motivated, but that motivation can wane. But to be able to try to stick with doing those things that you said you want to do, or what you want to become. Can you think of any time where somebody that you've spoken to or that you've helped to start that journey has come back to you and shared where they are now, or how your words, you know, through God have helped them?
Man, I think as a public speaker, it is difficult to know that.
Yeah.
Because when I'm done, I'm not staying, like, I'll stay in the building, I'll stay and chat with people, but I'm not an administrator.
Right.
Like, I'm not in the building every day with them, so it's hard to see the fruits of it. And I think it's like a teacher. Like a teacher, you may teach a 5th grader, you don't know if they become an Olympian.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I do get people that will message me back and tell me, and I have screenshots, you know, just people like that part of that message, like, really changed my life. And it's just so, like, God is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go places and I'm like, man, this is my ego. I'll be like, oh, that was killer. Like, I dropped that one, and then, like, crickets afterwards.
Right.
Nobody come talk to me. It might be the age of the kids or whatever, but, you know, it's funny.
But believe me, people are listening to it. And sometimes you meet people and you can see it, like, pouring out of them.
Yeah.
And I can see your passion and your faith pouring out of you. I'm so glad we're connected now. Tell everybody how they can follow you, and you're definitely going to be back with us sometime soon. We're going to make sure we have you on and off. Real quick, Super Bowl pick, who you got?
Ooh, buddy. I got the Eagles.
You got the Eagles. Okay. Tell everybody, and you got to mark the board. Hopefully you put it on there. Tell everybody how they can follow you, Nance.
Yeah, so you can find me on www.lancethonville.com. I got some cards over there. Instagram is LannyT42, Twitter, LannyT39. You can find it just searching Lance Thonvold on all social platforms.
And that's THONVOLD.
Yeah, V like victory.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. You're part of the family now. It's great to meet you. So we're going to take this break coming up. We're going to come back. I think we got a little flexibility with what we're going to do. But appreciate you hanging out. Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Sports Talk Show, a host of people. I can't even thank the number of people that have come out to hang out with us because I don't have that much time. So,
20.
hey, appreciate you coming, hanging out
real,
with
real
us.
quick, remember, planted, not
Planted,
buried.
not buried. There you go.
That's right.
We're going to take this break, be back after these messages. Hope you're having a great start to your Super Bowl weekend, folks. And thank you so much, Lance, for coming out, man. It's
Absolutely.
great.
Thank
Honor
you.
to have
Thank
you on,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Great
Sir.
story.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
And welcome back. Final segment of this extended show. We appreciate you hanging out with us so much. And hope you have a great finish to your weekend and enjoy this game. So many times Super Bowl comes around and we get all hyped up for 2 weeks and then the game is a flop. And I'm hoping that this one is not a flop. I don't have the thought that this one is. I think this is going to be one of those exciting games. Comes down hopefully to the end. Some of the scores that those young men just gave us, though, Jay, those are way out there. I don't know if we're going to be getting close to 50 points, but like I said, you know what happened? They play too many. They play a lot of video games. They're so used to playing Madden and stuff like that. Because Quentin, he'll score like 80 points in 4 quarters on Madden, and I'm like, that's not usually how it works. But we'll see. But like I said, it's.
And who you got?
I'm gonna get to that in a minute. We'll give our final picks here in a minute. But first, I want to thank everybody. Or at least I can't thank everybody. There's a long list of people that helped, especially make this show do what it do. But from the top, I want to thank Brother Hans Schatz and the Arson family for coming down and helping us out. The official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show. I want to thank Dakota DeSanto and everybody here at the Pemberton, including Pocho Viscaro. I can't say it how he said it. Viscaro, yeah. Want to thank Joanna for coming down, Deborah, who's sitting with us. We had Rodney Hughes come on, Lance Stonvold, Brother Art. I thought he might be calling back in. We'll see if he does.
He probably will.
But just like I said, all the boys,
Casual E, Bruce
for getting
Arians.
Bruce Arians on, Brother Mark Twain Beaver. I want to thank Aaron. You did an amazing job as always for this show. We have
what he does behind the scenes is definitely invaluable.
We have so many people jumping in and out, and Aaron does it seamlessly. So thank you as always, Aaron. And then all of our list of partners, everybody from Milano Music to Lisa with Trish Cafe. Make sure you go get your reservations for Valentine's Day. Frank Sturpey and the Madden Schools of Arizona. And like I said, there's just a host of others. But just want to thank everybody for being part of the show. My friend Richard, who came down as well. He might be floating around here somewhere. And then I think, let me see, all the guests that we had on too. I got the list. We had Mike Murray. Mike from the Hot Box. Aaron from Buckaroo. Kristen from Moiselle. I hope I said it right.
Yeah, you did.
Moiselle. And so just a host of people, and thank you everybody for coming down. Hope you have a great finish to your weekend. Anything out? Okay, go ahead, Jay. Hit that up real quick.
So when you come out to some remotes, you're going to see a couple of flyers on our table, and that's because we're going to be a part of the Oakwood Creative Care, the 3rd annual Jail and Bail fundraising event. And us along with the OCC board members, we're back again to be able to see if we can try to surpass the goals that we have for this year. So the event is being held April 1st at the Hub Grill and Bar, located at 1860 South Stapley Drive in Mesa 85204 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On that day, 10% of the event sales at this location will be donated to the Oakwood Creative Care. And so every dollar from this event will be directly benefit OCC members and their families. And essentially, even when it comes to, if you go to their website, which is a couple different places, you can go to givebutter.com/jail in bail 23 or oakwoodcreativecare.org. In terms of the for tax-related purposes, for donations, they can be they're tax deductible as well. So keep that in mind. So there's going to be a jail and bail event that's going on there, benefiting their day club program. So make sure that you support.
Yes, and next week, just a reminder, we will be at the Chandler location, the Trist Chandler location. So come on out and support that. They're celebrating an anniversary as well. So we'll be there for that great show starting at 10 to noon, our normal time. In the meantime, we have Ms. Deborah Dubree, who's sitting with us last few minutes. Any comments or things you want to finish up with us, Deborah?
We were kind of talking offline, and so the mindset of an athlete that goes from being with a game or an event that's of more significance based upon maybe it's a championship game or something like that, what is the difference in terms of mindset and approach from going, say, from a conference championship game to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's a great question because when you look at moving into anything as human beings, when we move into anything where there's some uncertainty, then it can really mess with our mind, mess with our emotions. That can, just disrupt somebody's play. Now, you look at Kansas City, you've got a quarterback who's been in the Super Bowl a couple times, so he knows, Mahomes knows what's going on. So it gives him a bit of an advantage that way. Now, the other players, what they can do is it's the deep visualization and to listen to those players who have been there before and to come down to a point of realizing it's the same size field, same stadium they both played in before. All they have to do is focus one moment at a time, stay present, and do what they do best.
There we go. See?
So in this situation, have you picked a winner for this game, Deborah?
Of course I have.
Who you got?
Kansas City.
And why do you go with Kansas City?
Couple things. I like the relationship between Kelsey and Mahomes. I think that's a winning team. And I just like them, how they play. They're very aggressive. When I saw Mahomes after 2 weeks ago being injured, and the way he was like, I am not going out. This game is too important. You do what you got to do to me to get me back in the game. I love that grit that takes them to that next level.
Real quick, you and I have talked about this a few times. What do we need to do to fix our little quarterback out here? I mean, I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but
well, here's the one thing that I look at. When he was in college, I'm sure playing in college was fairly easy for him. Didn't take a lot of prep, didn't take a lot of effort. He was big man on campus, and he's still playing as if he's in college, meaning that he's not doing the prep work that he needs to do, and the game is faster and harder. Everybody has studied him. They know how to play against him, and he's just doing his thing and wondering why he's screwing up.
Another question, follow-up, do you think he can be fixed? I know you said everybody can be, but because it's so ingrained in him, his particular approach and he almost, I would imagine he thinks he does walk the water a little bit. If he wants to be, or do you think he can be?
Yeah, I think the skill is there. The skill and the talent is there. Every player, every corporate person I work with, they know what to do, when to do, how to do it. They're just not doing it. Okay. And they're not doing it because they contextually don't understand how to move themselves from the level they're at to the level where they want to be. And that means seeing themselves different than how they see themselves right now.
We're going to track that. Well, we got a few minutes left. First off, let me see. Aaron, your Super Bowl pick. Who you got? Score and who you got winning?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. Score off the top of my head, I'm going to go 32-21.
32-21.
Chiefs.
Okay. How about you, Jay? What you got?
I got 32-28. I got the Kansas City Chiefs because I think they're better, but also it's kind of one of those picks. My dad's favorite team was the Kansas City Chiefs, so it'll be really cool if they
okay.
Be cool.
And wow, I guess I finally have to get off the pot and give mine. My heart, and I'm going to go with my heart over my gut, and I'll explain that real quick. My heart wants it to be Kansas City because I don't want to live for the next 6 to 8 months hearing all the Philly fans, and if they get another one, that chip, because I love where I come from, but they can be a little obnoxious from time to time. I know I'm probably going to get some grief from my people back home. My gut pick is that the Eagles will probably win this one, but I'm going to put mine down. I'm going Chiefs 27, Eagles 24. So I'm going with my heart over my gut, that type of thing. So, hey, we're running out of time here, about a minute.
My gut's over my belt.
Your gut's over. Listen, this has been a great show. Everybody's still standing here. I want to thank you all. And everybody who was here and left or is coming down, I want to thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for even hanging around and then jumping in with us. Always love your insight. Thank you, Brother Hans and Dakota and Pocho. And I want to thank Stephanie. Thank you for hanging out with my son and keeping him entertained. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brother Mark Twain Beaver behind the camera. Elian, Elijah. Thank you, Rodney, for coming out. I cannot wait to get my smoke on. I mean, illegal smoke, too. I'm talking legal
It's all
smoke.
legal.
My
It's all
cigar.
legal around
Well,
here
I
these
don't do
days.
that other stuff, but I'm gonna get my smoke on with my brandy or whatever it is. But been a great show, and once again, thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Joanna, for coming down. Richard, if you're still
1
here.
minute.
Been a great show. We'll be back next week. Like I said, we'll be at the Trist location, which is in Chandler. It's 4205 South Gilbert Road. So come on out. It's Valentine's Day this week. Get your reservation in for the, either the Phoenix location or the Chandler location. But once again, we thank everybody. Couldn't do this without you. I guess I would say go Chiefs, but I don't want to get in too much trouble. I'll
30.
just say let's just have a great game, right? So until next week, and Jay will be on the road next week. Michael Caratenuto will be filling in for him. Jay's going to have a celebration
20.
of life for Chill.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Thoughts and prayers and everything to you and the family, Jay.
Appreciate you,
love
man.
you, man.
Yeah, love
so
you too.
hey, we're going to get out of here. Well, until next week, it'll be easy out there. And you go ahead and hit him one more time since you won't be here next week, man.
Are you kidding?
There you go.
Great
and
job,
we
Aaron.
missed Brother Art, but we'll get him next week.
Shout
Thanks,
out, Art.
everybody.
Yep.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
AM 10.
All right, you're clear. Have a great rest of your
Thank
day,
you,
guys.
Aaron.
Hey, great job, Aaron.
Enjoy the
Thanks,
game,
man.
man. Appreciate you, bro.
Scott